Whatever, I will buy again. That's what I think a lot of people were doing today because we saw an incredible move on the NASDAQ. It went up more than 10 points or 3.5%. And in after hours, we're down by about half of that. So we took 10 steps forward, 4 steps back. And I think that now that we're at the top of the mountain, again, we fell through the valley of despair. We climbed the slope of hope. And now I think a lot of people were finally ready to buy. When we checked in last time, we were at about 279, and now we're over 10% higher from there. We have record call buying today per Bloomberg. So, in true greed fashion, when people are overly positioned on one side, what happens? A humbling. After hours, we're down by about 4% on Apple, Google, and Amazon. Remember that. These stocks had incredible moves. We'll look at those in a moment. But looking here to QQQ, what's so important is that we're set for our first weekly candle close over our 50 weekly moving average, currently at about 300. So unless we reverse about 2% tomorrow from where we are in after hours, we're going to save it. Looking here to S&P, we'd have to fall below, we'd have to fall 14 points or about 3.5%, 4% for us to lose our 50 weekly moving average at about 402. This is also going to be our second weekly candle close above this area. Before we look at Apple, Amazon, and Google, what we're going to look at first here, though, is that we were looking at the S&P, and we talked about our 15-minute chart and what that would look like here on the daily candle. So what's so interesting is that we filled the gap at 413.67 pretty fast. We filled it really fast. So let's zoom in and see what happened. So let's go to regular trading hours. Right near the open, we fill the gap, pump up, come back down, bounce off again, and now we're not sure if it's going to hold into after hours here. So just watch that level really closely because it did almost exactly what we wanted for that bullish scenario. My concern now, again, concern, not a guarantee. My concern is that this might turn into an exhaustion gap where the stock is now, the chart is now getting exhausted, and it's going to try to find some support. Where's that going to be? Is it going to be on the gap fill at about 303? Is it going to be down at 300? Is it going to be down on the 200 DMA? I'm not sure. As of right now, there are no warning signs. We got massive volume, increasing price with increasing volume. That is classic bullish. We also note that we've now actually filled our gap, and we actually managed to also get above our September high at 31108. Those are incredible, incredible moves. So if we now have a look here at Apple, just because I mentioned on the weekend, this is the stock that I care the most about. It ran hard into earnings. And now it's just going back to where it closed out yesterday when everyone's like, oh my God, the Fed pumped the market up. It's not going to hold. It's not real. Yada, yada, yada. So my question for tomorrow is going to be whether or not we bounce up and reject on our 200 daily, or if we actually start to go back down. Why? Well, I just showed you that the S&P is like, it's throttling this area, 313.6, and we don't quite have the guidance from the earnings calls quite yet. So all this might change tomorrow, in addition to us also having payroll Friday coming out at 8:30. So what I'll leave you with for tomorrow is that if S&P falls below 413.6, which is the Wednesday high from the Fed, that is the first warning sign. The second warning sign comes when QQQ starts falling inside its gap. Notably, if it comes up with a rejection tomorrow at that 15-minute chart, meaning we look at the low we established today at the open. If we open up right around here at about 307, 308, we dead cat bounce up and then reject. That is not what I want to see if we're bullish. It would be the opposite of this move right here, where we come down, bounce off. That would be the opposite for us to come in tomorrow. Push up a little bit and then reject, go to fill a gap, maybe more. So it's really, really simple going into tomorrow. And without overcomplicating it, I'm going to leave it for you right there. Why? Because I did a lot of work to get ready for this weekend. And if you want to watch my deeper thoughts on how I got ready for this move, why we said maybe you don't want to sell the rip, encourage you to watch that video that's queued up now. If not, I would really appreciate if you could smash that thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Thank you so much.